All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Bodybuilding.com podcast. I'm Nick Coleus, an editor for Bodybuilding.com. Next to me here, we have Heather Eastman, also an editor for Bodybuilding.com, as well as a physique coach and judge.
Yep.
And today we have a man getting ready for the stage for that competition, Pat Brocco, a.k.a. Possible Pat. Thanks for coming.
Sir. Thank you for having me.
He's got a video series up on our YouTube channel, currently 10 episodes deep. Hundreds of thousands of people have watched those. Also seen you on the Ellen Show, followed on
Fox,
Instagram, Facebook. Yeah,
Tell the truth.
A
few shows.
But you know, not just because you're like some run-of-the-mill fitness model. This man used to be 600 plus pounds, if you didn't know already.
605.
Maybe more. I think you said
605.
Yeah. And we've been we've been watching all of your episodes, everything we can find about you, and eager to have you here. Now, I don't want to spend a ton of time on your deep backstory because I want people to watch those videos. But we got to go into it a little bit. Now, for people who don't know, you were a bodyguard for a long time, right?
Yes, since I was 17.
Since you're 17. And
good
so
10, 15 years.
It's a job where being big's part of the job, right?
Definitely got paid to be big.
Right, exactly. So how did that, I don't know, did that cement that in your mind? Like, this is who I am, I'm a big guy, this is who I'll always be?
It definitely made me more comfortable with being big. And being on tour, I always felt like the bigger the better. I was more intimidating. I felt like I can move more people. And to be honest, just being on the road, sitting down 15 hours of the day and eating at truck stops and going straight to hotels, eating there, then going to concerts, being backstage in the green room. A lot of time is spent eating and sitting.
Right.
So years of that. It's funny. My last tour that I did, I never even realized it. I left at 500 pounds and came back at 600.
Wow.
So I gained 100
How long was
pounds.
that tour?
About a year and a half.
Wow.
So 100 pounds in a year and a half. And I didn't realize it until just recently. I was like, hold up. I gained 100 pounds. Because it's funny because I tell people I lost 100 pounds in 90 days.
Right.
How long did it take me to gain it? A year and a half.
But yeah, that difference between 500 and 600 is shorter than people think.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest, I was doing a live stream and I was talking to a gentleman about because he was 600 pounds. I said, are you going to start now? And this is how it came up, me figuring out that only took a year to gain that weight. I was like, you going to start now or are you going to wait? Next year you might be 700 or 800, who knows?
Right.
So
yeah, that's an interesting perspective to bring to somebody. It's really interesting to think about you now talking to that guy all the time.
That guy that I was.
That guy that you were. Yeah. I've seen
so
on your Instagram.
And sometimes I know where they're at, and it's really an emotional time for me as well as them. But just hearing the pain in their voice, not knowing, if they're going to lose the weight, if they're going to even start. So
right.
I feel the struggle. And
you had tried at various points, right?
Or look, I'm getting emotional.
Right.
But yeah, I think every overweight person tries to lose weight, maybe once a year, and it just what it is. I personally would start and last a week, and but I don't want to eat like this. I don't want to work out. Right. I don't want to do none of these things.
Boring.
And it's not that it's hard. It's just different. It's something that we've never done. We've never ate healthy. I mean, I spent 90% of my life eating the processed foods, eating McDonald's, drinking sodas. As a kid, that's where you wanted to go. And it just so happens I never transitioned to eating healthy. And as a bigger person, I ate a lot. So if something would happen, like I sprung my ankle and I spent a month not being active, I would gain weight because my appetite wouldn't change. But
so the time that it did take, though, what was different there, really, that made that switch turn? And this time it's like, all right, you're going in that direction, you're staying.
You know what? One of the reasons a lot of people lose weight is because something emotional happened. And the last time before this time, not to backtrack, but the last time before this time, I lost weight because of a girl. Lost 90 pounds. And I was like, I'm going to do it. It wasn't the right reason, because then you find someone else, or you stop caring about that person, and then you go right back to your old ways, or you get sad. And as overweight people, a lot of us eat with our emotions, so that's what gives us comfort. But the last time, my pushing, that pushed me over the edge was death, and I feared it, and I was told, how much longer do you think you can go on at 600 pounds? High blood pressure, pre-diabetic, high cholesterol. My family, my dad died of a heart attack. My grandma died of a heart attack. So both sides of my family had diabetes and died of heart attacks. So it really just hit me like, I need to change right now. I didn't want to die. And that's what pushed me. So, everyone's going to be different. Someone may be pushed because someone else died. And I talked to a gentleman that he just lost his brother, and he reached out to me. My brother was 400 pounds. I'm 500 pounds. He died. Help me. I want to make him proud. I want to live longer. And people just don't understand what they're doing to themselves. Right. Sure. At 500, 600, I mean, even at 300 pounds, if you're supposed to weigh 160, still 150 pounds overweight. Oh, absolutely. So, it's dangerous. It's just a dangerous thing, and we just never realize it.
But you didn't just, it's not like this pushed you directly onto the treadmill. What you did, which is it's a brutal but really interesting approach, is you said, I'm hungry, I'm going to go walk to food.
Yes. So the first step was, after the doctor's office, I emotionally ate. And then it's funny because everyone thought it was right then that I changed. But it was like a week later, after just like depressed, finding out all this bad news, and I stepped out the shower, and it's the before picture I use. That was the moment that I said I was going to change. I looked at myself in the mirror, said, I'm not going to be this guy. So I threw everything away. And I knew nothing about how to eat clean, nothing about working out. I haven't done it in years. And I said, I just know I can't do this. I can't do what I'm continually doing every day that's holding me back or making me worse. So I threw everything out, and I said, I'm just going to walk. I'm going to walk to get every meal. That'll be my exercise. And
every meal? Three times a day.
That was the incredible part. Yeah. Every meal.
Sometimes if I was hungry, it'd be 4 or 5 times. I would try 3 times, because at 600 pounds, walking 3 miles back and forth is a little rough. So.
Yeah, I mean, just put that in comparison for us. Like, now you're preparing for the stage, you're doing these brutal leg workouts and everything. Just in terms of that voice in your head saying, all right, I want to quit. How comparable is it, that walk to Walmart versus working out?
So the walk to Walmart, I had a purpose. I was hungry. I wanted to eat. The hard part about the walk was, the first thing in the Walmart was McDonald's. Right. So I will walk in.
That's your greeter.
I'm like, do I get the egg whites or do I get the 100 chicken nuggets? Right. And I'm like,
100 chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I used to eat 100 chicken nuggets. So it's a lot different. Right. One was I was faced with death, and now it's a bigger purpose. I feel like this is bigger than me. It's bigger than stepping on stage. It's actually helping people. And for the first time in life, I feel like I have a purpose. The first time I feel like what I'm doing is positive and I'm changing lives. And to be honest, there's no better feeling in the world.
So at what point in that journey did you really start to feel something different for the first time, where you kind of like, maybe you were lighter, or you had more energy, or you just, you know what, I think I might actually be on the way to being a new person?
It was like a gift and a curse. I remember about 90 days into it, I wanted to figure out where I was at. So I found a doctor that did a body scan, and I went there, and I found out I was 100 pounds lighter, and I looked exactly the same. So I was like, I lost 100 pounds, I can do this. And I looked, I'm like, I don't look no different. Like, after this, imagine losing 100 pounds and still being that overweight where you can't even tell the difference.
And did you feel any different?
Oh, I felt great. Okay. Like, that 100 pounds, the walks were easier. I can get out of bed. You know, at 600 pounds, like I used to have to roll out the bed and use something to stand up. Everything, my back started feeling better. My legs, just everything felt better. More energy. It was definitely a difference in how I felt, but not in how I looked. And that's the gift and the curse. I felt great, but I wasn't seeing it. And it's funny because as time went on, I got more insecure. Like, I lost 200 pounds. I still don't look good. I lost 250 pounds. I'm still overweight. I lost 300 pounds. I'm still overweight. So I went through that for 3 years. And then once I finally lost the weight, I have loose skin. So it was just
challenge after challenge.
Challenge after challenge after challenge. And one thing I know about that is we can overcome them all. You just have to keep fighting.
It sounds like you're learning a lot more skills there than just how to lose weight, though, too. Like walking, yeah, it's easy to think about those walks like, hey, I burned a bunch of calories. Hey, I did this. But you're learning crucial skills every step of the way about dealing with boredom, saying no to stuff.
You know what? It's losing weight was definitely challenging, and it opens your mind up, because one thing, I never wanted to take back steps. I always wanted to move forward. So one of my biggest things was sodas. And for the love of me, I used to drink at least 5,000 calories of sodas a day, at least. I mean, at 600 pounds, you got to eat almost 10,000 calories to stay that weight. And so I first it was diet sodas, then it was water, then it was, amino acids. So every step of the way, it's improving. You may not jump from, oh, this is my lifestyle, but just changing little things and adapting, and then going to the next step and the next step. People don't understand it's a process. You don't have to go extreme as I did, no carbs for a year. It's a process. Sometimes you can change little things and see progress. And that's what I learned through in my 3.5 years is I was a little extreme, but there's other ways. And
there's a place for that extremeness, though, too, probably, right? Just in helping you understand it.
Definitely. I definitely learned a lot through it.
I had a question for you, Pat. I've been a personal trainer for 12 years, and you mentioned in one of your videos that you didn't want to see a personal trainer because that person would never understand what it was like to stand in your shoes.
I'm put on the spotlight. I'm a personal trainer.
So
defending your industry.
And I don't mean to put you on the spot, but it did really strike me as, what can the fitness industry do better to reach someone who was in your position? Because that is something that I think a lot of people struggle with. They don't even feel comfortable setting foot in a gym, let alone approaching a trainer.
So let me rephrase it. During that time, it was a bad experience. A lot of times people deal with one bad experience, and if you go to a restaurant, the first time you're there, you have a bad experience. You're like, this restaurant's horrible. And you're probably never going to try it again. In all reality, it might have just been a bad cook. Somebody might have been having a bad day, whatever the case is. I later learned that, not all personal trainers are bad, but not a lot of them.
That to be nice.
I could say like 99% of the people that are personal trainers have been somewhat fit, or this is obviously the career that they chose. And so
it's their passion.
It's years of, being fit and knowing the way, versus someone coming in 200 pounds overweight and I just felt I was walked through the workouts that I couldn't do. I was told to do things that I shouldn't have done. And I just felt like they didn't understand where I was coming from. So I feel like more research, getting to know people's bodies.
Sure.
They were telling me to do like burpees. I'm 500 pounds. I can't do burpees now. But it's as someone that big, it doesn't take much.
No, not at all.
And that's what some people need to realize. It doesn't take much, and the fact that they're there is the hardest part. So maybe you don't go extreme as the guy who's been working out for a year. And like I said, everyone's not like that. It just so happened the guy that I met, he was like that. And he, to be honest, he's won shows. He's a bodybuilder. I've seen him since. And it's just funny because I'm like, he knew what he was talking about. It just didn't apply to me at the time.
Right.
Because the stuff he was saying, I do now. I just wasn't ready for it.
Right. I remember in one of your videos, you also were saying like, yeah, when you were in there the first time, you didn't know what you were doing, lifting weights, anything like that. But then you see in that same video, you know what you're doing now.
Yeah.
So what did get you from point A to point B?
YouTube. YouTube was definitely a help then. And even like now it's funny because I still, the other day I'm like, I need to work on my upper chest. And I go right to Bodybuilding.com and I'm looking at upper chest workouts. So people make these excuses. I can't figure it out. I don't know how to eat. Well, you can figure out how to get directions. You can figure out anything online. You can figure that out. And will it be a bunch of trial and error? Yes. Everything's not going to be right, but the information is out there, and we need to stop using that as an excuse.
Absolutely.
And that's what really, I didn't know what to eat. I used to Google healthy recipes on my way to the store.
Just those words, healthy recipes.
Healthy recipes, fat loss diets, and that's how I ended up doing the no carbs because of the ketogenesis, and it worked for me. So that's what I would do every time. What's a good recipe? What's a good stir fry? And that's what I did.
But then then at some point your goal changed, right? To I want to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah. So
Yes.
What
Tell
did
us
that
about that.
represent to you, and what was that world to you before? What looking at yourself now? If you passed yourself on the street now, the old you and the new you, like what was that world to that guy?
look at that guy thinking he's buff.
Right. Look at those sleeves.
Look at his sleeves. No, to be honest, it's all together. And you do something long enough, just as if you eat bad food long enough, it's just what you love to do. You just like to do it. It's routine. You know, sometimes I would wake up and not even realizing I just ate a whole box of cereal and a half a gallon of milk. Just not because it's just routine. And if you put yourself in around other people and you're doing the same thing day in and day out, you learn to love it. It becomes part of who you are. And working out, eating clean, and just the fitness industry in general just became part of who I am. And I feel like with my story and what I accomplished, bodybuilding wasn't part of the journey, but I feel like it'll make a good ending to this chapter. So to go from 605 pounds to actually stepping on stage is more of a complete story for me, and not just I got fit. I want to take it all the way to show people, not because I don't want to be a bodybuilder. To be honest, I can never honestly be a bodybuilder. 7 feet of loose skin. There's, as you know, your skin is everything. It has to be tight, and no matter, I had 7 feet removed, and it's still not tight. So I'm really just doing it to show people it can be done. And win or lose, regardless of what happens July 1st, I know I'm going to motivate some people.
Okay, so for in case people don't know, you do have a specific show.
Yes.
It's like, it's all over every episode. It's all over every Instagram post. There's a day.
Yeah,
that
July
you're just cranking
1st.
for.
4 weeks out. How do you feel?
You know what? Losing weight wasn't hard. Prep is hard. It's a big difference between, just eating to lose weight. Because you're never super dialed in when you're losing weight. This, to the ounce, to the gram, to the one almond, like you can't go an almond over. And now in a week and a half, I'm cutting water. So it's definitely a big difference. I tell people I've never counted a calorie until now. I didn't even know what a macro was. I'm like, macro? I thought, like, what is that? Can I eat it?
You was eating better. Like, for a long time, that's enough, right?
And you know what? And that's what I did. I just ate better. And it worked for me. But now it's a little different with the nutrition, the workouts, the cardio.
The workouts look different in your video. I saw you with a coach training, and like he's a big yoked dude,
Yes,
right?
yes, my
And
coach,
he's
Jeff Hall.
roasting you. Like, that's how different is the training once you set a goal? Like, all right, I'm going to go to a real show. I'm going to try to win this thing.
To be honest, I've always had the mindset I'm gonna give it all I got. I'm going to the gym with a purpose. I'm gonna give it 110%. Now, what's hard is doing it on less fuel, and in Arizona when it's 100 degrees or 110 out. So it's, and he doesn't allow me to quit. Sometimes when you're by yourself, people don't realize, working out by yourself and being coached, totally different. I can do the same exact workout and then be coached and do that workout, and it feels totally different. Like, this is so much harder. What was I doing wrong? And it might be an inch of where my elbows were, or this, my stance, anything. Just little tiny changes that perfects the workout. And my coach,
You can probably speak to that.
Yeah, we just talked about that last week, that's really what a trainer's job should be, is kind of helping you get the most out of your workout, not, pushing you to do something you're not capable of doing or getting you started on a program that's not right for you. So that's great that he's able to kind of give you that little push in each workout. Now, knowing what you know now, having gone through this bodybuilding prep, to someone else who's doing a transformation, who's maybe lost 100 plus pounds and is thinking about it, what would you say to them?
do it.
Do it?
Do it. And,
I like it.
Sometimes I feel like it builds confidence. And being able, the WBFF has took it to the next step where they have a division, it's built on transformations.
Oh, interesting.
So this show I'm doing is I'm going against everyone that's lost weight or whatever type of life transformation they went through. And if I win this show, 8 weeks later, I'll do the championships, which will be in London, and hopefully I get to go to London. But man, you got to chase your dreams, regardless of what it is. And I tell people, losing weight was one of my dreams, but it's opened up so many other doors, and not just with Bodybuilding.com, not just with doing shows or being on TV, because that stuff isn't important to me. Helping people and just seeing the difference on how you treat yourself and how other people treat you is worth it alone. So, and a lot of times, I had this thing in the back of my head that people treated me bad because I was overweight. And it did happen. At 600 pounds, I get it. People stare. I'm huge. I'm huge now. So at 600 pounds, people stare, you feel a lot of negativity, but 90% of it comes from yourself. And you can't expect people to love you or treat you better if you're not treating yourself better. That's what I learned. You have to love you first. And if you love yourself, you're going to take care of yourself.
Oh, yeah, but thinking of you as a bodyguard, too, like, that's a guy who kind of blends into the background, right?
It wasn't much blending.
But, like, you're front and center now, and, you're dealing with heavy shit in every video, it seems like. Were you prepared for that kind of intensity and that kind of emotion in your life?
I'm still not prepared for it. It's shocking for someone to come up to me like, "You're possible fat. Can I take a picture?" I'm like, "Why do you want to take a picture with me?" Like, I'm not being the ass or anything. I'm just like, "Me, really?" I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." But yeah, it's definitely something different for me to spend years of being around somebody that got all the attention, and me to have never got any attention for the right reasons, and now I'm getting it. It blows my mind. It blows my mind.
How much? You have 3 kids, right?
Yes, 3 kids.
How much do they observe this journey? How much do they know, and how are they invested
So my son,
in it?
my son's younger, so he doesn't. he's seen it, but he doesn't know. My daughters, they're like, Daddy's famous.
Right.
He's on Ellen. They go crazy. They go to school, and it's just a proud moment for me, you know, you know what? And all this has, not that I was a bad dad, but I feel like I'm a better dad now. I feel like I'm just a better person. My attitude, you know, a lot of stuff comes with being overweight. A lot of anger, a lot of depression. And I felt like I was putting that on my kids. Even, I may not have been meaning to do it, but it was my life. And now I'm happier. So they see that, they feel that energy. And that's one of the best feelings to know you're doing something positive for your kids,
Even
and
though,
showing them the way.
even though
They hate they hate it though.
Oh.
My son, for the first year and a half, didn't have sweets.
Oh.
And he tried them, and he's like, he doesn't really like them. So he'll eat grilled chicken and rice, and it's beautiful to be like, yes.
They only know
His
what you give
vegetables,
them,
right?
You know?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like people come over his grandma, and they'll like try to give him cake, and he'll throw it. And I'm like, that's my son.
But I mean, I think there's something really important in what you're saying there, which is a lot of people who are on the before end of things will look at what you're going through right now and say, like, God, that's a lot of time. That's kind of a selfish undertaking. But you know, you're seeing it pay back. Even though like this is that time you spend in the gym is time you're not with your kids, right?
Yeah.
But this is still a positive thing in your life, investing that, you feel like.
Definitely. And you know, I'm gonna be here longer. I can honestly say I'm gonna live longer. And if it takes an hour a day to live longer, spend that hour and live. So, I mean, who knows? I could have been dead already. And then we wouldn't be having this conversation. Who knows what would be going on with my kids, would my family be struggling, you know? So it's worth it. Every minute in the gym is worth it for me.
No, no, there was kind of like a crisis of faith, it seemed like, in one of your recent episodes. Though episode 10 is just 20. There's no gym, there's no cooking. It's just you talking to the camera. And it got pretty real, and it was a different feeling in that one. It was like you were struggling. It seemed like,
You know, that was, I didn't know we were recording. So
Yeah, they kinda tricked you on that
we
one.
recorded, and then we were done. And then my videographer Adrian, he asked me a question, and
just one question.
and it led to a 30-minute video. And I mean, there was a couple other questions asked throughout it, but I mean, I do struggle. I'm human, and I want people to know that it's going to be hard. Change is hard, no matter what it is. If you move to a new state, it's going to be hard at first. You don't know nobody. This is something you're not used to. You adapt, though. As humans, we're able to adapt, and we're able to grow. Take advantage of that.
Now, there was a news story we wanted to talk with you about recently. There was a woman who, I don't know if you saw it, she went on stage in like just a local bodybuilding competition, right?
Yeah, she was a bodybuilder. She lost 100, 150 pounds.
Had the loose skin.
Had the loose skin, but she's up on stage. She's got the suit, the tan. She's posing. She's so proud of herself. And then the photographer didn't put her photos up on the website because he thought she'd be embarrassed because she didn't look like every other competitor up there.
But it kind of brought up this question of, you know, like, yeah, there are people who they've been transforming and they aim for the stage versus that person who's like, I've been a personal trainer, I've been jacked my whole life. Like, where is there a common ground for those people? And why should somebody go on stage, if not in the transformation division, but why do that?
I mean, you got to do what you want. If it's a goal that you have, and if that goal drove you to be a better you have to finish it. You have to go all the way. So if you decide, you know what, I'm gonna lose 100 pounds, and I'm gonna step on stage, then you lose 100 pounds, and don't step on stage, you're not finished. Let's do what we say we're going to do. And I feel like that's, to be honest, I didn't want to get loose skin surgery, but I said I would. It was the most terrifying thing in my life. I had one surgery ever, and I was like, okay, signing my life away. I'm going to be skinned alive, which I was. I posted the video. It's pretty harsh.
Painful recovery.
Yeah.
Painful.
Oh, 3,000 stitches.
Definitely a breaking
Yeah.
point in my life. But I committed to it. And I feel like when we make commitments, we need to stick to them. It just makes you feel like you accomplished something. And even if stepping on stage isn't your goal, if it is, do it. Be proud. To be honest, I have loose skin. And I don't know if I regret cutting off the skin I had, because I feel like it added to my story. It added to my journey. It made me, it gave me a different outlook on things.
Right.
Because it was 3 years of bam, bam, bam. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. No struggles. I struggled, but there was nothing to ever put me at a stop. And then I get this surgery, which I thought, you know what? I'm gonna get this surgery. I'm gonna be perfect. I already had abs. I'm just gonna look magnificent. And then I got it. Then I couldn't work out. And you think you've overcame something, and I didn't, because the first thing I turned to was food. The first thing I turned to was food. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't do social media. You know, I just felt like I can't work out. I can't do nothing. I'm moving backwards. And the first week I was good on my diet, and then I started getting depressed. I can't do these things that I'm doing for the last 3 years. So then I started eating bad. And it's funny. I seen a message one day just browsing through my Facebook of someone telling me I saved their life. And why haven't you been posting? Why haven't you been doing anything? You know, we need you. And that's when I knew I got to stop this shit. I can't move backwards. I can't give up, because I wasn't giving up on myself. It's easy just to give up on yourself.
Right.
But giving up on thousands of people, you know, I get suicide letters saying if it wasn't for you, I would have committed suicide. Like, how can I turn my back on that? So that's why I said, you know what? I don't care. I'm going all the way. Even if people don't think I look good, even if what I accomplished isn't amazing, I'm going to do it for the people that do believe in me. So.
Hearing your story where all of a sudden the tables had turned and now it was your followers
They
who were
turned so hard.
pulling you, and they were the ones kind of pulling you out of that tailspin, and they were the ones reaching out to you. And I thought that was the most amazing part of your story, is that it could have been this huge backslide, and you turned it around and kept going. And
So I owe this show to them. I really do. I really owe it to them, because I don't know what would happen if I didn't get out of that slump. Definitely a challenging moment. So I'm thankful for my followers and all the people that support me. And it's more than, I don't even like calling them followers. It's like a relationship.
Right.
yeah,
Like, I feel like even if I don't get to talk to someone, that we have a connection. And when I do get to talk to them, I feel like we know each other. Like, when I do my live calls, I feel like I know this person. And I tell them, like, why are you bullshitting? Like we're family. And they're like, I don't know, Pat. I'm sorry. Like, I'm their dad.
You're the only person who can talk honestly to that person.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know? Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful thing, to be honest.
But you know, you've got another big difficult point coming up, right? When you go on stage, you've talked a lot in your early videos, especially about like, I want to win, I want to go to Worlds, I want to do this. What if you don't win? I'm sure you thought about that. You know? How does that change the story for you, or does it change it at this point?
That's a good question. I mean,
I don't want to throw that doubt in there.
damn it. If I don't win, life goes on. Life goes on. I won't do another show. Well, at least in the transformation division. probably won't just do another show, to be honest. It's not what I like. I love the workout. I love the eat clean. I love the challenge of prep. But I feel like it's too much for the 80% of America that's overweight, or 70%, whatever the number is. It's too much. It's intimidating. So, yes, I'm doing this show to prove a point, but that point isn't for everyone. I don't want to lose the connection. And I feel like bodybuilding loses that connection, because for some people it's unrealistic. Me at 600 pounds, I would have never thought ever in a million years would I be stepping on stage, or would I even be coming close to it. Even committing to doing a show is something I would never even have thought of. So my mindset then is a lot of people's mindsets now. And I don't want to lose people. I want to show them it can be done if this is something you want to do. But then I want to go back to just helping people be better, helping people lose weight, showing them it's possible.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, just connecting with the people. And who knows? I may not do bodybuilding, but there's going to be another journey. It just may not be on stage, but I'm going to pick something and I'm going to commit to it, and I'm going to show people I can do this too.
Oh, I hope so.
I haven't decided what it was yet. Maybe powerlifting. I don't know. Something though. And that's what it's about. I want to always have something to do. I want to always grow. I always want to try new things and commit to things to show people I've never done this, but I'm going to try, because it's something I want to do and it's going to make me better.
Just the process of going.
Just
through
the
it.
process of going through it. But hopefully I win.
Right.
Right,
Of course.
no.
And I can call you up and say,
Guess what,
I
Nick?
won. No, but to be honest, one of the main reasons I want to win, it's really not for me. I just want to show, like, doing the show will complete the story. Winning the show is just going to add the cherry on top.
That's the movie.
Then I get to go to London.
Right? All right. Well, we'll be watching every step of the way, man. Thank you for coming down. So we can find you on YouTube, of course, on the Bodybuilding.com channel.
Yes.
Yep.
Then you have your own website with meal plans. And
Meal plans.
What else? What else do you do?
Approved foods list. I'm actually in the next week or so gonna do Losing Weight 101. Well,
Oh, nice.
it'll teach people. I don't want to be the guy that's about the money.
Right.
I have a career, but do I want to make money? Everyone wants to make money,
Right.
But I also want to give back, because I know people can't afford it. I know there's people out there that won't invest. Even if they have the money, they won't invest in change. So I want to offer a lot of stuff for free, which I have my approved foods list, but I want to take it up another notch, where it's going to tell you how to calculate your body weight, how to figure out how many calories, how much deficit you should be in, how much fat you should be doing, how many carbs you should be doing, and just basically walking people through it. And all they have to do is pick the food off my macro list. And if they choose to go that route, thank you. You're changing your life. If they choose for me to put something together for them, thank you.
Right.
But there's already a free option on there, but I want to make my free option to where you look at the paid option like, I don't really need it, because it's not about the money. And I want people to understand that it's really about changing lives.
And you're reaching a lot of people through free channels too. Instagram, Snapchat.
Oh, yes.
Like
Instagram,
if
Snapchat.
somebody really wants, they want to reach you. How do they reach you through those?
Everything's Possible Pat. Instagram, Possible Pat. Facebook, Possible Pat. And to be honest, man, I get a lot of messages and people are like, I don't have money. I've written free meal plans. I've sat there, called a person up, worked with them for two hours, told them what they need to do, send them workouts, and it helps them. And that's what it's about. That's truly what it's about, just helping people. Because I wish, I had to help. Maybe when I was, the first time I decided to lose weight, if there was someone out there making it easier for me, and someone I can relate to. And there's hundreds of us out there. There's a lot of people that lost weight.
Right.
So let's team up and build this super team of transformations and
I think
help,
so.
help some people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Well, thanks for coming in and talking
Thank
to us.
you.
Pat
Yes.
Brocco.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Pat.
Appreciate you.
Hey, did you know Bodybuilding.com actually offers free shipping on most orders over $49? Seriously. Just look for the Be Elite badge across the site and on your favorite supplements. Thousands of top products from the biggest brands are included, like Optimum, Gym, Dymatize, Cellucor, and plenty more. If you haven't already, check out bodybuilding.com/Be Elite. That's all one word, kind of looks like Be Elite, for more details.